Dave Velasquez, again, San Diego State men's basketball assistant, with us right now on John and Jim. What are the takeaways, or what are you hoping to learn about a team this early? I mean, you still have months before your season starts. So what do you work on specifically, or what are the motivations and goals this time of year?
Well, the first thing you got to start with is, what's the standard at San Diego State? What do we expect? That's the number one thing. And, and everybody comes from different places, and that's just the world of college basketball. And we've been in the transfer world forever. We didn't just start with this new portal thing. We've been doing it since we got to San Diego State, and since Coach Fisher and Dutcher got here 25 years ago. They've been great with transfers on explaining early on what the standard is here, what they expect, and then after that, you're just trying to kind of mold the guys and the pieces together, because what you see on film is not always what you see on the floor, and you kind of make sure that where can we put this guy to meet this guy's strength, and where can this guy pick up for this guy's deficiency. And so again, the summer is always great to, like I said, learn who the new guys are, and then hopefully for the guys that are coming back. And we have a lot of guys. We have 3 or 4 guys that really helped us win games last year that we're expecting a lot out of, moving forward. And, talking specifically about Miles Bird, Reese Waters, and Miles Heide. Those guys are really good players, and we expect them to take a huge jump. So there's a lot of things going on during the summer, but at the same time, you have enough time before November before our first game to figure it all out.
No doubt about it. So you mentioned Reese Waters, who will enter his second year with the program. Miles Bird, of course, has been here into now his 3rd season, was part of that national championship team on the roster a couple of seasons ago. What have been the discussions with Reese off year 1 with the highs and the lows, the adversity? What do you hope to see from Reese as he gets ready for year 2 here at San Diego State?
I mean, every time you step on the floor, be the best player on the floor. That's kind of the mindset, and also to believe in every shot you take, you're going to make. And be as confident in yourself as we are in you. And he's done a really good job defensively on learning our concepts and helping the new guys along. And but yeah, we're expecting a lot out of Reese, and there's pressure that comes with that. And as we move forward, and as the season starts to come along, we'll try to do the best we can as coaches to put him in the best positions to be successful. But Reese knows this is a huge year for him. And last year wasn't always smooth sailing, and no year's ever it's going to be smooth sailing throughout the way. But Reese is the guy that every day I walk into the gym, I expect when Reese is at Gonzaga, I think he had 25 points at Gonzaga. That's the Reese I expect to see, and that's the Reese that's the standard that we're going to hold him to this upcoming year, and that's the standard he holds himself to. So he's worked really, really hard. He's in elite shape right now, and he's shooting the ball at an elite level. So just got to continue that as the next couple months go. And like I said, as the season, approaches, this is his year. It's a huge year for him.
No doubt about it. Dave Velasquez with us right now, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. You mentioned transfers have been a part of the program for a long time. We're now in this portal era. It's just a mainstay across the sport. So what's the acclimation process been like for some of these veteran newcomers, right? Jared Coleman-Jones, Nick Boyd from FAU, Wayne McKinney from Crosstown at USD. How have they acclimated?
They've been great because they're unbelievable humans. They're great people.
Yep.
They fit in really well with who we all are, how we carry ourselves, how we approach every day. We work really hard, never entitled. Those guys came from programs, they 3 completely different style of programs, different background in college basketball, but they've done a really, really good job of just trying to fit into San Diego State, but at the same time, trying to show how hard they work. Jared Jones, he's lost 20 pounds since he got here. And that's not something easy to do in the summertime. And he's worked his butt off, and he's been great. He's in elite shape again, like I talked about with Reese. And, Nick's been awesome. He's an unbelievable vocal leader for us, which we need, and especially from that point guard position. And then Wayne McKinney just, he's a lot of people in San Diego will, recognize him from his USD days, but he's just the way he defends, the way he goes about his business. His character is through the roof, and all their characters are through the roof in terms of just who they are as people. And so it's been great. They've really done a good job of fitting into who we are culture-wise and holding up to the standard that we expect out of all our guys.
Have you sensed, I know you have, just being obviously with the program day in and day out, you sense the chatter that goes on with a player like Magoon Gwath? A little bit like a backup quarterback, honestly, in the NFL or college football. There's all this excitement, and people have seen bits and pieces of him, but they've never really seen him on the floor unless they've been a part of an Aztec practice. And it feels like the expectation, people are like, oh, this guy's going to average like 30 points and 30 rebounds. Like people have these crazy high expectations for a guy that's never played college basketball. He'll be a redshirt freshman. So I guess I'll ask it like this for our listeners. What have you seen from Magoon, and how do you think it will translate when he does get on the floor on the Mesa?
Well, as a coach, and I'll just speak for myself, sometimes the hype is not always the best thing for a young guy like that. He's unbelievable. He has so many talents and a skill set that is hard to teach. A lot of the stuff he does, you just recruit. First of all, he's 7 feet. He plays like a guard. He can shoot the ball. He can play all over the floor. He's an incredible rim protection. His timing on block shots is through the roof. However, with that said, is what you said, John. It's you got to temper the enthusiasm a little bit, but at the same time, understand that's not the kid's fault, if you will. For all the great excitement around him, because he hasn't played across the street. And with all that being said, we're going to expect a lot out of him, because this is a huge year for him. He has all the intangibles to be an incredible player, an all-league guy, a guy that could be another one of those ones that we talk about 3-4 years from now about, he made it. He made the dream come true. And he works so hard, and he's so young, and he's such a great kid that it's, that he's just going to continue to get better and better and better. And he's done that since the day he steps on campus and fighting all the injuries. And, it's well documented now, showing up with 2 broken ankles and fighting through it and playing through it. And now this is his turn. This is going to be his time. But as coaches, we all know you got to be patient. I'll never forget when we had Kawhi as a freshman and all the hype surrounding him. And it took him time. It takes time for young guys to kind of get used to college basketball, no matter where it is. And I know Magoon's going to be great for us. And, as coaches, we've been through it before. And, we're going to help him throughout the process, no matter what.
So speaking of young players, first of all, your freshmen don't look like freshmen, which is like, I feel as if it's a compliment. But then again, they are a freshman in age. You can't change your, when you're 17, you're 17, or when you're 18, you're 18. But I mean, Pharaoh Compton looks the part, big, imposing, physical. Taj DeGorville, the guard, he is a big guard with his height and his athleticism. Obviously, you have others part of that freshman class as well. Thak Majok is on campus as well right now. What have you seen from these freshmen? Because you're going to count on some of these players from day one, right?
Oh, there's no doubt. The number one thing with freshmen, when you get them when they're young, is you kind of got to see in the summer, like, are you going to be able to rely on them in November and December? Mm-hmm. Or, where's their process going to be? And by this point, with both those guys, we expect them to be a part of the rotation. We expect them to be a part of our team, a big part of our team this year. And yeah, like you said, they don't measure like freshmen. Let's just say that way. They came in and their physical was crazy, just to see their wingspan and how big they are compared to other freshmen. But they have the mindset though too. These guys are really accomplished basketball players before they got here. They lost in the championship game, but Pete Sham last year, they both were huge contributors on that team. They both had major roles. So they understand what winning is. They know what it takes to win. You play against the best players at that level for their age. So we're expecting a lot out of them, and they've been great, but they're freshmen. So you don't know what you don't know. And the freshmen, they're continuing to learn. Everything they hear from us is brand new to them. So it's been fun to coach them and see how hungry they are, how bad they want it, how much film they want to watch, how much they want to learn. They've been awesome this summer, and we can't wait to see them get on that floor in November.
One more before you go, and I know the non-conference schedule isn't fully out, but obviously over the years, you've always challenged yourselves. I think about some of these recent years, some of the schedules that have been put together, and likely that's occurring again this year, reportedly with this NIL tournament. We know there's a home and home with Gonzaga with them expected to come here to Viejas Arena. You played Cal last year. It's reported that you're playing a neutral site game in Northern California against Cal as well. What will you learn about the team in the months ahead, specifically in the non-conference, to get you ready for Mountain West play?
Well, you never have the answers, even in December. And that's one of the Coach Dutcher's biggest strengths, is how good his teams get throughout the season. And his winning percentage in February is well documented. But there's a reason for that. You don't panic if it doesn't go great early, or if it does go great, you don't say, oh my, we have all the answers. You just continue to get better. And our schedule is going to set us up to have great success in the Mountain West. And that's all we try to do, is challenge ourselves. If we recruit and brand ourselves as a marquee program, you have to have a marquee schedule. And that's what we do every single year in and year out. And, again, this is not going to be any different. And San Diego State fans are going to have a lot to be excited about and have a lot of great games to watch in November, December before Mountain West Conference play starts.
Can't wait. It's coming. Again, we've got football in 3 weeks, Fan Fest tomorrow. We've got San Diego State basketball the first week of November. Dave Velasquez, longtime assistant on the Mesa. Appreciate you doing it, man. We'll do it again later on this summer into the fall, all right?
Appreciate you guys having me. Go Aztecs.
There we go. Dave Velasquez.